Good morning. Hello, hello. Good morning, good morning. Good afternoon. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Look at all these people jumping on. Hello, hello. Hi. How is everybody today? Hello. Good morning, good morning. Hi, everybody. All righty. I'm looking well rested. Thank you. I went through a little bout of food poisoning last week. It was not fun. So I've definitely been taking it easy this weekend. So welcome, welcome. All righty. So anybody want to be coached today? And what would you like to be coached around? What would you like to be coached around? I'm going to need a little bit more detail than that, you guys. Okay. Okay. Alrighty, let's go with Lisa. I'm gonna pull you up. Okay. Hello. Hello, hello. All right, so for those of you in the chat, go ahead, just type in questions, observations, comments, love, all the things. And then if you have questions, I will answer them all at the end, but you can go ahead and just type them in at any point. Hello, Lisa. I cannot hear you. You're muted.
Hi.
Hi, there you are.
There I am. I'm going to switch my computer. Computer super fast, so it'll just have 1 second at some point. Where's my computer not turning on? Okay, we're going to stay right here, and I'll just have to turn it sideways. There we go. Okay.
Okay, I can see you. Hello. How are you?
I am mostly wonderful.
Great. Well, let's coach around this so you can be even more wonderful.
That would be lovely.
Okay, so if this was the best coaching call today, what would you like to talk about?
I would like to feel really excited to do sales and to feel like I'm really comfortable with the numbers that I asked for, and therefore more comfortable knowing what kind of packages I want to put together and having all those tiers, because I'm more connected to what my value is and how to strike that balance between, I'm not interested in just making $25,000 programs. I want to serve a wide range of economic situations. And so it's important to me to have something that's simple and less touch, that people can be, that can drive themselves, and also have more high touch offerings.
Okay, so at the end of this, you want to feel excited to do sales, be comfortable asking for the prices you know you deserve, and really have an idea on how to create your intimacy and access funnel.
Yes, please.
Beautiful. So you put in the chat that service is something we do selflessly and feeling afraid to ask for decent money. So what's coming up for you when you think about having to sell somebody?
I just know that groceries are so expensive right now, and gas is so expensive right now, and some people who really need the support are like, I'm going to be starting next month with an old friend, and she's going to be paying $500 a month for 6 months, and it really should be $1,000 a month. And I told her I would give her a deal. She works with homeless children, and she has 4 children and is a single mom herself. So I feel like she's pushing herself to pay $500 a month, and I'm happy to do this work with her, but I want to get to the place where I can be either asking for $500 a month for a group program instead of for a one-on-one only thing. And
So what's been coming up for you?
okay, I'm throwing my judgments in that, like, I'm not confident that I know who is really ready to do the work versus just, well, I mean, what's coming up for me is, I was just in a workshop this weekend, and
Nope, don't go into story. You were
okay,
throwing
yeah,
in judgments.
yes, thank you. Okay, so what's coming up for me is, I guess I'm not confident that I'm worth $1,000 a month, uh or $2,000 a month, or whatever. I guess I'm just not, and and it's because I'm not sure what I'm offering, because I'm still pulling some of these pieces together. But part of why I'm not pulling the pieces together is because I'm struggling with the value thing. So it's like I'm not allowing myself to stand in the clarity, because I keep bouncing back and forth between the two places where I can feel the least amount of clarity.
So if you were to charge $1,000 a month for a one-on-one coaching client, what are you afraid of?
That they'll tell me it's too much, and then that's just the end of it. Or that one of the things I'm struggling with right now too is I'm realizing that I'm not good at delegating to my VA, because I'm still organizing in my head what all needs to be done for what. And like, for example, I haven't posted the replays yet for the last week and a half, or 2 weeks.
So if your
And
client says
yeah,
that $1,000 a month is too much, how's that a problem?
well, it's not a problem if I replace it with somebody else, or it's not a problem if I know how to talk to them about that without feeling guilty.
Okay, so if you feel guilty about talking to them about paying you, how's that a problem?
Well, then I don't get paid.
And if you don't get paid, how's that a problem?
I have no retirement. I don't get to move forward in my homestead projects. My partner feels frustrated that I've put all this money into trainings and I'm not bringing home bacon. Um, and I don't like myself going through another round of mediocre execution on sales. I want to feel proud of myself.
So if you don't like yourself feeling mediocre at sales, what do you take that to mean about yourself?
Then I'm not good at sales, and that means I'm not good at business. I might be good at the work, but I'm not good at sales and business.
And if you're bad at business, how's that a problem?
Then I'm not an entrepreneur. Then I'm just doing this as a hobby, and that I'm not using my full potential. And I'm thinking I'm holding myself small, and I'm holding myself in limitation.
Okay. So what do you take it to mean about yourself if you've invested all of this money into yourself for a hobby and you can't make anything come from it?
My first thought was mental masturbation. My second thought is just disappointment that I mean, I'm learning things. It's not like I have a terrible life. I don't have a terrible life,
Don't
but
justify it. How's it a problem?
it's a problem because it sucks that I'm not getting what I want from what I'm working towards.
Right. What are your negative thoughts and emotions when you don't get what you want, when you've worked so hard towards it?
Broken or pathetic or just limited, that I'm a limited being, that I or that my dreamer doesn't get to drive enough.
So where
My
else?
dreamer my dreamer ends up feeling alone because the rest of the teammates, the critic, the realist, and the integrator are not holding her hand or coaching her or presenting more ideas that will help her feel grounded.
So where else in your life are you working hard towards something and not getting anything from it?
Yeah, I'm starting to see changes in that, but that's been a pattern, and it's becoming a diminishing pattern, and that's why we're here today, because I want to diminish this pattern. I've seen it in my relationship. I've worked so hard and uh had limited benefits come from it. My land, my family, all of those things are starting to shift now, but it has been very hard for a long time. So I don't feel like that is as true as it used to be. I guess the residue is still there. With myself, my health also. Pardon me. Uh yeah, but the biggest one has been business. That's been the one that I just almost get there and then fall off, almost get there and fall off. And I'm not doing that this time.
So when you work hard towards something and you don't get anything from it, and you think that you're broken, pathetic, limited, and alone, what are your negative emotions?
I think I kind of go numb and I lick my wounds
Great. So when you
until
go numb, what emotion are you protecting yourself from feeling?
hurt. hurt, sadness. I mean, probably all of them. Anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt. I think all of them come up.
And if you were to really associate into that hurt and sadness, what are you afraid of?
Being unlovable, being alone forever would be the worst. Have to rely only on myself and then not having that social joy.
So if you think that you're unlovable and you'll be alone forever, what do you take that to mean about yourself?
I feel like when I hear that, then there's a part of me that goes, come on, girl, that's not true. And I believe it. So it's like as soon as I hear myself say the extreme worsts of it, then it it just sort of diminishes, but then I don't finish getting the whole thing cleared. You know what I mean? It's like, does that make sense?
So, yes, that's makes total sense. It's totally normal. So, the part of you that does believe that you're unlovable and can be alone forever, what does that take it to mean about itself?
Well, that I'm not maximizing my time on earth, that I'm not getting to find out all that's possible and juicy in being a human.
No,
No.
that's the part of you that's like, you're not that. The part of you that is actually terrified of being unlovable and alone forever.
I'm also afraid of being someone who's making lots of money and then becoming unlovable for that. So both ends are I feel like I guess I kind of ping pong a little bit between poverty and wealth as both extremes being negative, and that I have to find some perfect space in the middle to live in. And so it's a perfectionism thing. No.
But for yes, and your your brain has connected that if you have a lot of money that you'll be unloved.
Or I'll be loved by people who just want to use me, or I'll be, yeah, that it'll start somehow becoming a transactional life, or just something gets uglier somewhere and I can't tell what's what.
But it's already transactional because you're trading love for no money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I say that, what comes up for you?
Just sadness, grief.
So can I state an observation?
Please.
You're so afraid of living in what we call the not me, which is like, I don't want to be the super rich person who just gets used because I have lots of money and blah, blah, blah. But you're already living in that at just a different level.
Yeah.
You're just
I'm
gonna,
playing that game without the money.
yeah. So you're already playing the game, you might as well get some money out of it. So, what actually are you afraid of if you were to have money? Because it's not being used, it's not being unloved, and it's not being alone.
Becoming a grosser person, maybe like becoming someone who stops having the values that I love about myself.
Great. What values are those?
Um, I mean, I love that I, I'm curious about, I'm curious about a lot of things in life, not just how to make money. I'm curious about, I mean, I, I, I really do care. I wanna, feeling very tired right now.
I know. It's
Yeah.
all good.
Yeah. Mm. What was the question?
It makes sense that you don't want to stop valuing your curiosity and your caring and all of those amazing qualities of yourself. So, what's your definition of money?
My definition of money is a tool, an energetic tool that creates a balance of exchange and serves as a creation tool, sometimes serves as a compensatory tool, serves as a it can serve as an opportunity opener, and it can serve as a safety net, and it can create, yeah, opportunity tool could create fun or learning or whatever. It could also be used evilly to take people down for advantage, but it itself is neutral.
So, what I'm hearing is money is whatever the intention of the person using it has.
Yeah.
So, what's your intention when you get money or spend money or have money?
To maintain my flow in a way that allows me to expand and be the best offering I can be on the planet while I'm alive.
When was the first time you believed you were evil?
Mm. Feels like an X and an O box. I'm connecting to the question. I'm having trouble looking through my, let's see.
Okay, just close your eyes and just ask your unconscious mind, when was the first time? When did you decide that you were evil?
Maybe maybe touch self-exploration as a child. I don't think I thought of myself as evil.
You don't necessarily have to remember what happened, just what age is coming up.
All right, I'm going to say somewhere in my very, oh,
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. I don't know what age that started at, but it's about being afraid of becoming my mother and thinking it's evil to hold her with boundaries so that I can keep myself. And that I definitely remember crying to someone in my early 30s. It was the first time I said out loud, because I felt so evil that I was afraid that I'd become my mother, and was afraid to spend time with her, and felt terrible for not wanting to. Wow. Yep. But I moved away with her when I was 12 from my father, and I was very lonely inside and not at ease a lot.
But before that incident at 12, what made you, how old were you when you thought that you didn't want to be your mom?
When I was 7 or 8, my mom had already taught me the difference between I hate you when you and I hate it when you. And she was just being a dick one day. She did that. I remember being 4 and having her torment my father about putting me to bed instantly instead of just letting us finish something. And they literally pulled on my arms and yelled over top of me. And when I was 8, I think I decided that I was going to try out that I hate you. And I said, I hate you when you act like this. And she tortured me for the next 2 weeks, crying and blubbering about how I had ruined her by saying that. And I was like, well, I'll never do that again. Um, and that was probably one of the moments that I was most definingly going, boy, I need to use a different math problem to relate with this person.
So
And
at
yet I
four,
come from her.
so at 4, when your mom tormented your father about putting you to bed, but not instantly, but you guys were finishing something, what negative thoughts and emotions did you have?
I thought this was ridiculous. And I think I also recognized that if she had just given us the 5 minutes to finish working in the shop instead of saying it's already past your bedtime, you have to go now, and they spend 5 or 10 minutes fighting about it, we could have just had a peaceful experience, and I could have gone to bed 5 or 10 minutes later, and nobody would have had to have such a rile up.
So, what do you take it to mean about yourself that you caused that peaceful night to be disrupted?
I just felt like I wasn't important a lot. I was just like, you guys are so caught up in your stupid shit that you don't even recognize what you're doing, how unsafe of a space you're creating for your child. I just never knew when the petty, immature stuff would start. And it got worse and worse as I got older. By 10, 11, there were door slamming, crying, screaming fights every day. My mom broke a door one time slamming it so hard. And my dad also had his play in it, but my mom was more ruthless about her principles, and is just only now starting to soften a bit.
When you think
And my
about,
mom was really into money, and not in a like a greedy way, but in a anal way. My mom was really into money. She tracked every phone call that we made for an entire year, including calls that didn't go through, just that rang, because she thought that Sprint was charging us. And sure enough, they charged 1 penny for every call that didn't go through. And she was like, they're making millions of dollars off of everybody over nothing. And this was more important than, having a bonding relationship with me. I always referred to her as a governess more than a mom.
can I state an observation?
Yes.
You've just become her in a different way.
Yeah, that sucks.
Instead of over analyzing the money, you're just pushing it so far away and
Yeah,
resisting it so much. You've become a governess in your own life and you've built up walls that don't let anything in because you're
yeah,
not letting in the abundance, you're not letting in the money
yeah.
because God forbid you become your mother.
Well, and I've got a partner who also pushes away money really strongly, and that has made me lose my impetus to budget and to track things in a way that I was good at before. I got off of it before I got less savvy about it before I met him, but I have really, really been struggling to find my way back. And yeah, and I'm looking for sovereignty here for myself
So when you think and feel
now, but I
the
have to drive the whole thing.
so when you think and feel the hate, the evil, not important and unsafe, what do you take that to mean about yourself?
That I'm not very balanced if I'm getting caught up in those things.
So what do you take it to mean about yourself if you have hate, think you're evil, not important and unsafe?
Why should I even bother trying to make a living being in service? I'm probably just somebody who should do it for free and try to make the world a better place where money's not involved. Yeah.
So what do you take it to mean about yourself if you have hate and evil and not important and unsafe?
That I suck. I take it to mean I'm an immature fool.
So when you think about being four and your mom tormenting your dad about you going to bed and you're feeling hate and thinking that you're evil and not important and not safe, what did you need that you didn't get?
I needed more sensitivity. I'd had major surgery less than a year before that. I mean, really invasive. And I think that I was rushed to get to the place where I looked good enough that they didn't have to give me special treatment. Do you know what I mean? Like, as soon as I started behaving not sick, then everybody felt better. And then they didn't have to try to be sensitive to me anymore. And then they were mad at me years later when I'm like, dude, all these surgeries have built up and I have to deal with them. And they're like, why can't you just let it go? It happened so long ago. And I'm like, that's not what I was saying.
So you
I,
needed sensitivity. What else did you need?
I needed, I need time. I needed someone who could receive me when I expressed myself for what I was saying and not just translate it into a completely different model. I needed to be able to have a sounding board sometimes for what I wanted to sort out.
What else did you need that you didn't get?
Patience. I also needed inspiration sometimes instead of just like if I brought up fear, then that made them fear and then it was about their fear instead of my own. So I don't know what that's called, but altruism, empathy. What are those words? Do you have an observation?
Oh, you'll get there on your own. What else
Okay.
did you need that you didn't get?
I needed more fun lovingness about normal mundane trials. Mundane trials don't have to be a BFD. You know, it can just be something that we can laugh about and say, yep, that's happening again, because that stuff comes up all the time. Instead of, oh my gosh, it's another trial. Ah. So I just needed more calm. And that goes with the curiosity, curious calm instead of, my family, when we get curious, it sort of almost gets a little pit bully, you know, like, well, let me grab it. Let me death grab it. Let me hold on to it until it's dead. And it's like, no, let's just like lick it. You don't have to bite it and hold on to it till it's dead. If you want to taste it, taste it. But so yeah, lighten up, Francis, is the phrase from Bill Murray's movie Stripes. And money was always, my mom was always
No.
teaching me about money. But okay, take me back.
What did you need that you didn't get?
I needed to be believed when I had wise ideas. I needed to be taken as a whole human being and not someone that was forever going to be less than. To my mom, I was forever going to be less than because I was a lower age. So seen and heard and respected and cherished in a way that made sense to me, as opposed to cherished in a way that made sense to her.
I have 3 words for you you haven't said yet.
Hmm.
You needed trust.
Yes.
You needed to trust that you could just exist and be okay.
Yes.
And you needed to be loved because you're just a kid who is enjoying time with her dad. And all of a sudden, now you're the reason why your parents are in a screaming fighting match. And you just needed to be fucking safe. You
Yeah.
weren't safe.
I wasn't. I never knew when there was an eruption.
So you
And
needed
it
to
was
trust
frequent.
that you could have love and safety in your life.
And my mom was always asking me, what did you learn from this experience? Because I think she thought that that's what a mother was supposed to do, to make sure that I got educated properly. But I remember being a teenager and her asking me something, and I'm like, Mom, I'm making reconstituted orange juice. There's 3 fucking steps a toddler can understand. Stop asking me what I learned from everything. And I felt like it was a cop out, because she was really actually trying to learn from me without telling me that I was wise and capable and someone that could inspire her. It was like she needed to make sure that I never seemed like someone who could teach her anything, because she had to be the adult. And I'm like, what is this crazy bullshit? We all learn from each other. I learned from 4-year-olds on the regular when I spend time with them.
That's that's really what you, because all the other things you said, yes, absolutely, you needed those things, but they all stem from those 3 things.
Yes, trust,
Love
safety,
and
and
safety.
love. And love in this way means acceptance.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I was nurtured in ways that mattered, but there were chunks of myself that were never accepted. Yeah.
So
And
because
then all of that then makes me wonder whether I deserve to get paid to support others in finding trust, love, and acceptance and safety. She has gotten better, which has been good. And that's because I've put in a lot of work, being strong and saying what I
Right.
need to
Stop
say.
justifying your mother's existence.
Okay.
That's not your job anymore.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is I have made a difference, is what I guess what I was trying to say. But you're right. It's about,
So, because you didn't have the trust, love, and safety that you needed, you didn't have the sensitivity or the patience or the empathy or the calmness, you weren't seen or heard or respected, you didn't have anything that you needed. What qualities and characteristics of yourself did you shut down?
I got a really weird relationship with ambition.
Cool.
I can't say I completely shut it down, but it super got morphed.
Okay. So what else? What else got suppressed?
Um, faith in connecting safely.
What else?
What else got suppressed? Just like unadulterated exploration. Just, I guess my partner is a guy who just get excited about something and take it apart and put it back together. And I have to think through whether that's the right thing to do or not, or whether I'm going to be able to trust myself to put it back together, or whether I'm going to have a pile of crap at the end, and whether that was worth it or not. And was it worth it to break it? And, it's a lot of thinking about whether I'm going to do the right thing when I do things. And on the one hand, I like what it gives me. And on the other hand, it suppresses me.
So self-trust
Yeah.
and excitement and fun and play and curiosity.
Yeah, because when I do get excited, then I get big because I've never really learned how to fully regulate all of that, I guess. Um, and yes, creativity. I just saw Karen write. Yes, for sure. That it's not that it's stifling. It's not complete suppression. It's stifling. And then that makes a mess. And then that really feeds the self-trust issues. I see myself do that all the time with posting on social media where, wait, do I trust that I made a smart decision that that would be a good idea to post? And so I'm doing it on these tons of little ways, and then that just feeds into the bigger story.
So what else? What else did you stifle or suppress?
My usefulness. Sometimes I really knew what was needed, but sometimes I didn't share it because I didn't want to deal with being put down for not being old enough to have a real answer, or um, put down because it's outside of her box and therefore it shouldn't even be listened to. Um,
What else got suppressed? You have ambition and faith in connecting safely, and self-trust and excitement and fun and play and curiosity and being big and creativity and useful and, dare I say, carefree.
sure, dare to say it, carefree. I mean, I have these qualities in me, and I think that what I'm always doing is managing them. So and yet
Which is a
my
form of
physical
suppression.
space, yeah, and my physical space is more chaotic because I'm over managing my inner space.
So stop and just let them be. Let yourself be all of these amazing things, because you
Yeah.
wouldn't be all of these amazing things if your life wouldn't be better for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love those things about myself.
Yeah. So when you allow yourself to fully express your ambition and your faith in connecting and the trust that you have in yourself, because you've gotten this far in life with you and up here, you know
And
you've
I
got it.
and I have used money very well in certain arenas, like very well. I have an above average ability to live on a small amount or to manage a big amount and parse it across time so that I'm not squandering it. I mean, I have squandered money before, but that's not my general pattern.
Yeah.
And I just want to be able to believe that my gifts are worth, that I'm capable of keeping track of all the parts of a business. And I don't have to be afraid that somehow I'm going to fuck it up, if not one way, then another, because I can't manage.
So when you have ambition and faith and you're connecting and trust in yourself and you have excitement and fun and play and curiosity, and you just let yourself be big, have big feelings, big thoughts, big ideas, and you have creativity, and you know that you're useful, and you're carefree, and you're wise and capable and inspiring. What can be different in your life when you allow all of those to be their full volume out in your personality?
I can get a lot done if I can keep managing all the little things that aren't as exciting and creative. And it's like I'm afraid I'll get caught up in all the right things, and then some of the back end stuff. Oh, please go away, dog. Please go away, dog. Okay. Thank you. Um,
So Lisa,
yeah.
you have a part. I've known you've had a part, but your part's very stubborn, and it
Yeah.
won't let me integrate it because I've been trying
What's my
the past
part?
20 minutes. It's all good. It's totally fine. So for right now, in the hot seat, right now, the part of you that wants to integrate, that wants to have all of these things and believe that all of these things are true, that's the part I want to talk to right now.
Yeah.
We will deal with the other part on
Okay.
the back
I
end.
can do that. I can, as long as I'm acknowledging that there's a piece that's not, then yes. Okay. We'll
It,
talk to only the part that gets it. Yes.
because that part is you light up, and then as soon as you are like, yeah, I can do it, it drags you back.
Because I'm not fully integrated. Okay. Got it. Yes.
You're just
All right.
flipping between parts. It's totally fine. You've been doing it
Thank
the whole
you.
call.
Thank you so much for giving that qualification, because
Yes.
yes, I can talk from that part as long as I'm not saying that it's all of me.
No.
Okay.
Yes. But it is the majority of you.
It is the majority of me. You're
And it is
right. It's
your
so
unconscious
annoying.
mind.
It's
Yes.
so annoying how there's not a very big part that is my saboteur, but it is
So anybody
hardcore.
watching, if y'all want to practice a parts integration, Lisa was very grateful to you. And you can get in contact with her. Okay, so the part of you that is like, fuck yeah, bitches, let's do this. I
Fuck
know
yeah.
I have all of those things and I can allow them to be their fullest things. I've got that ambition and faith and self-trust and excitement and fun and play and curiosity. and the ability to be big in all aspects, to have creativity and be useful and carefree and wise and capable and inspiring. What can be different in your life when you allow all of those things to be?
I get shit done. I get shit done on my property. I get shit done in my body. I get shit done in my relationship. I get shit done in my community. I get shit done in my business. I get shit done in the world, and I make a dent and a difference that has trickle down effect and cross contextualization, and it's awesome. And I feel super grateful that I get to experience that as life.
Ah. And when you allow all of these qualities and characteristics of you to really flourish and you get shit done and you're making a difference, what can be different about asking for sale or asking for money from a client in business?
I understand that they have to put something forward that puts them at stake. And I understand that I also get to flourish for being of service. And I understand that, and I feel good about pushing them to see deeper value in what they want for themselves.
Right. So, knowing all of that, do you believe that you can feel excited to do sales
I do. I
and
do.
comfortable asking for the prices you know you deserve?
I do. I still have to figure some of those out a little bit, but I feel like I can have that conversation with the part that is afraid of it being uh sitting small and to the side, and I can pat it on the knee sometimes and ask it to tell me a story later.
And somebody's going to integrate that for you. Perfect. And with knowing all of that, do you believe that you can create an amazing intimacy and access funnel and easily and effortlessly filter all of your clients through all levels, depending on where they're at?
I do. I
So,
do. I'm excited to make this funnel. And right before I came, I had a talk with a friend who was helping me with my packages. So I'm a step closer, and now another step closer.
yes. Yes. So, knowing all of that, feeling all of that, is there anything else you need to talk about in order to feel whole and complete today?
No, I think I just get to jump back in while I'm focused and splash around in there and further excite myself and inspire myself and recognize the creativity of decades that is being distilled into the offerings. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm going to open it up to questions because I'm sure some people have questions on what just happened. They're probably like, why did you call out a part at the end? Okay.
And what are you naming the part?
I'm not naming it nothing.
Okay.
Somebody's going to do your parts integration and it's just going to say, is it all right for unconscious mind for you to integrate your part? And it's going to come out on the hand and you don't need to know what it is.
Okay.
You're already
Okay.
aware that you have a
What
part.
we call it, that stuff.
Yeah. Should be like
Okay.
that. Okay, so I did see one like way up here that didn't quite have anything to do with this session specifically. So, Alana, how do you apply to be in the hot seat? So, at the beginning of the call, I ask for volunteers. I just say, what do you want to be coached around? So, if you bring something each week to be coached around, I pick the one that I believe will help the most people. So if you can like be somewhat specific in your answer and be like, oh, I would like to be coached around this and this because of this, and I feel this, that's great. Okay. So it's super random every week.
Can I ask you one question too?
Mhm.
How did you go to evil?
Okay, yeah, somebody else asked that.
Okay, good.
You said it, and I was like, oh, interesting.
Did
Okay.
I say?
You totally did. And your definition of money.
Interesting. Thank you.
So I was getting a feeling because you were resisting money so much. So I was like, okay, great. We're just going to get your definition of money. Going into this, I was like, it's probably going to be like a not great definition of money. There's probably going to be some negative things in there. Which at first it wasn't. It was like, oh my gosh, it's this energetic tool that creates a balance of exchange and it serves as an opportunity opener and like the safety net. So I was like, okay, safety net, that's right, probably some unsafe in there. And then you mutter and can be used for evilness. And I was like, got it, evil. There it is. Yeah, Dr. Karen was like, I heard it. So that's where I grabbed evil from. And this is when you're free from this. You totally started flipping between your parts every other word.
Yeah, I was feeling it.
When I called it out.
And you
So
told me to
I
knock
was
it off.
like, So I was like, oh, that's probably what the part is. So for those of you that wanted a name, probably evil. And yes, those unconscious utterances are like my favorite. I love those. They're my favorite in a coaching session. You did it before earlier. You unconsciously uttered something else. What did you? Oh, it was the hate down towards the root cause. Jessica was like, I was in the grocery store and heard it. That's hilarious. Okay. So you also unconsciously uttered hate because you were talking about your mom was like, oh, she taught me the difference between I hate.
Hate you when, and I hate it when.
Uh-huh. So I was like, interesting. And then you said something else and you're like, I just hate it. I just hate. And I was like,
Okay.
hate, evil. I was like writing them all down here.
Where does hate fit in the 5 emotions?
It's technically like it's not like a major negative emotion, it's a minor negative emotion. And people attach it a lot to anger. Like anger and rage. So some people
But
think
it
it's
can attach to
scale.
all of them, can it?
It can. That's
Yeah.
why it's kind of its own. That's why it's like its own emotion, but it's not major because you could trace hate back to any of the 5. That's why it's not the 6th.
Okay.
It's still an emotion. It's still an emotion. Um, so yeah, so that's where evil came from. It was right there at the end. And I was like, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, there was a big change about having money. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions, observations? I loved all of the observations kind of just thrown out during the coaching. That was great. Okay, anything else? Yeah, the persistence of asking, what do you take this to mean about yourself? At the end, she was flipping in between parts. So I was really trying to get you to answer while you were in the other part, but by the time I'd finished the question, you'd switch back. It was, yeah. So I was like, hey, evil, not important, unsafe. What do you take that to mean about yourself? And then you'd go into a story or you'd say something or you'd be like, oh, that reminds me of this one time. And I'm like, so I was definitely, for those of you who love Huna, I was blowing some parts integration Huna over here.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. It wasn't quite enough. It's a very stubborn part. It's all good. I observed that Lisa is really hard on herself. Her part is, yes. Because Lisa's unconscious mind is like, we get shit done, we make a difference, and we're pretty badass. But her part is the one that's like beating her down and down and down and down. So, yeah. And here comes all the love. All right, everybody. So if you don't have any other Yes, Kate, that's exactly what she's doing now. She's able to give herself love and safety when she goes out there and kicks butt. Absolutely.
Could somebody, I can't write in the text for some reason. Could somebody please capture the text chat for me and send it to me? I can't grab it and I can't write anything.
Oh, so weird.
It is.
Olga, it could, or it could just be a limiting decision. I didn't go down that route, but you absolutely could have gone and explored that.
Okay.
I don't
So
know
it's
if you can
limiting
grab it
decision,
in a
it's there.
webinar.
So if it's a limiting decision, then it's there all the time and I access it and don't access it. And if it's a part, no, it's the other way around. If it's a,
So if it's a limiting decision, it's all the time, right? It's in all areas of life, it's all the time. But if it's a part, you kind of flip between it. You're like, sometimes I think so, but sometimes I don't think so. But then sometimes I think so. But then when things happen, I really don't think so. And then you argue with yourself.
I think it's a part. And I think then the arguing perpetuates the part being strengthened.
Mhm.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. All right,
Thank
everybody. So much love to you all. Mwah. Have a great day. I will see most of you on Breakthrough Mentorship. Bye, everybody.